Here are the 4 reasons why the Golden State Warriors will be title contenders. As you all know, the Golden State Warriors have shaken up their offseason and it hasn't had a lot of NBA fans convinced on their moves. But in today's video, we're going to be going through the big reasons why the Golden State Warriors have a better shot at winning an NBA championship this upcoming season. So make sure to like this video, and guys, 92% of you are still not subscribed to the channel, so it'd mean the world if you could subscribe to the channel, hit that red button down below. The first is that Steph Curry can still lead a team to an NBA championship. Now, as you all know, Steph Curry is getting older by the day. However, a lot of people are counting him out, saying that he isn't the same player that he once was, but he's definitely proving a lot of people wrong. When we look at his stats from last season, we actually see that he was averaging 26.4 points, 4.5 rebounds, and 5.1 assists. So he's definitely putting up such great numbers, and on top of that, he's also shooting 41% from the three-point line and also had an effective field goal percentage of 58%. So he's still playing at such a high clip, and because of that, we definitely see someone like Stephen Curry still being able to lead this team to victory, and I definitely see him being able to do that. When it comes to his stature, 6'2", 185 pounds, what I do believe he's added to his game now than he was before was definitely his size and his strength. He's a lot more of a stronger player. He definitely has a little bit of better defense, and because of that, I definitely see Stephen Curry now just as good as he was back in his 2016 era. We also see in the Olympic team that is going on right now, Steph Curry is leading that team in a lot of the games, and although the Olympics haven't started as of making this video, we definitely see Steph is going to be an integral part of that team. So it definitely does show that Steph is still that guy. He can definitely still play at such a high level, and he is a 10-time All-Star, 2-time MVP, 4-time NBA champ, and the list really does go on. Where I see Steph still being a very big asset is not only just in the scoring department, but definitely his leadership and being that player that can lead this team to victory. So although they did lose his splash brother Klay Thompson, I still believe Stephen Curry can still lead this team due to the fact that he's playing at such a high level. When it comes to his game, and like we mentioned slightly just before, I do believe now that he is a little bit more of a defensive minded player, it definitely really helps this team a lot. And I think him alongside his brother Draymond Green can still definitely do the things that they used to do back in those 2016-2017 Golden State Warriors era. Where I do believe Steph really can provide a lot for this team is also showing the young guys more and more about his experience playing in the NBA and what it takes to be a championship team. I do believe they have the right pieces, and Stephen Curry can definitely guide them in the right direction, not just for right now, but also in the future once Steph Curry does retire in a Golden State Warriors uniform. The second reason is that the Golden State Warriors found their second splash brother. So as you all know, Klay Thompson did leave the Golden State Warriors in order to join the Dallas Mavericks. And although this was a sad sight to see, especially for a lot of Warriors fans out there, the Golden State Warriors have desperately tried to find a replacement for Klay Thompson. And I definitely do believe they have found a great player, and that is none other than Buddy Hield. Now, as you all know, Buddy Hield is 6'4", 220 pounds, and on top of that, he's also in the peak of his career age-wise, and last season he did play for the Philadelphia 76ers and Indiana Pacers. Now over there, he did average 12 points, 3 assists, and also 3 rebounds, which I thought was fantastic due to the fact that he was only averaging around 20 minutes per game. So although he isn't putting up MVP type numbers, we don't really need that from the second splash brother, but on top of that, he also wasn't getting the same amount of minutes that he probably will get in the Golden State Warriors uniform. And that's why I do believe he will be a fantastic fit due to the fact that when it comes to the Golden State Warriors, they are looking for someone who can be a complement to Steph Curry and not another star in this splash brother case. Now, when it comes to his ability to shoot, we all know how great he can actually be, and there are only a few players that are able to do this, but he averages 7 3-point attempts per game, but he's also averaging around 40% from the three-point line as well. There's not many NBA players that can put up that efficient numbers with that volume amount of three-point shooting, and because he's now in a Warriors uniform, I definitely see those numbers not just going up, but definitely being a huge asset for this Golden State Warriors team. When we also look at his effective field goal percentage, we see that his average is 58%, so very similar to Steph Curry, which is what we'd like to see. And what I love about Buddy Hield is that he is not not just a sharp shooter, but he's able to score off the dribble, drive in the paint, get some buckets, which I think is very, very important. And although Buddy Hield isn't an elite defender, I do believe he still has great defensive abilities that can be a huge asset for this Golden State Warriors team, especially when it comes playoff time or even championship time as well. The third is that the Golden State Warriors are still looking to make one more big trade. Now, as you all know, the Golden State Warriors have looked far and long to find a superstar to match along Steph and Curry, and it hasn't gone all to plan. We've seen Golden State Warriors try to reach out to Paul George in order to get a trade done, but that didn't seem to work. We also had Chicago Bulls reach out in order to trade for Zach LaVine, which a lot of Warriors fans thought was a great idea, but also didn't work as well. But there are still a couple of other players that are still on the agenda and that could be a perfect fit, not just for the Golden State Warriors, but help them win another NBA championship. Now, some of the names people are looking at is Lauri Markkanen and Brandon Ingram. Now, let's start off with Lauri Markkanen. As we all know, Lauri Markkanen, great player for the Utah Jazz, and still a pretty young player as well. He's 7 foot, 240 pounds, and last season he averaged 23.2 points, 8.2 rebounds, 2 assists, and also had an effective field goal percentage of 58%. That is very, very rare for a player of his stature, and also his ability, is honestly second to none. When we look even further, we actually see he averaged 8 attempts on the three-point line and also averaged 40% from the three as well. So if you match this with Buddy Hield that they recently got and Stephen Curry, you really got a sharp shooting type lineup, which I thought would be not only just very, very good for the Golden State Warriors, but also an exciting game very much to watch. So when it comes to Lauri Markkanen, it really is, no-brainer to get someone of his caliber, especially at a very early stage in his career. He's definitely earning his stripes throughout his seasons, playing in Chicago, playing in Cleveland, and also now playing in Utah. And now I do believe he has a proper shot at winning an NBA championship, but he needs to be with an NBA championship caliber team. And this is where I think Warriors could definitely be a perfect fit, especially for his game style as well. When it comes to his play style, we see Lauri Markkanen be a lot more of a sharp shooter and being that big in the paint, and that's exactly what the Warriors need, especially with his added size. I definitely think it could help Warriors defensively, as the Warriors struggled a lot last year when it came to offensive rebounds, as it were a lot more of a smaller type team. So having an extra 7-footer in the team is always great to have. I think Lauri Markkanen can definitely provide that. When we look at another option, Brandon Ingram is also in the play as well. As we all know, Brandon Ingram does play that small forward, power forward position, a little bit shorter at 6'8", 190 pounds, but still a very, very young player at 26 years old, just heading into his peak years in his career of having great youth and ability behind him, but also having a lot of NBA experience. But last season, he averaged 20.8 points, 5.7 assists, and 5 rebounds for the New Orleans Pelicans. So he did a fantastic job there, while also shooting 35% from the three and also an effective field goal percentage of 54%. So he's a very, very decent player, and because of that, we definitely see someone of Brandon Ingram's caliber to be a huge asset for this Warriors team and could definitely help them win another NBA championship as well. The fourth is that NBA fans don't realize that the Warriors have young stars that could be a huge impact coming into this next season. Now, as you all know, the Golden State Warriors have been very good at developing young stars. We've seen Steph Curry come out of Golden State Warriors. We've seen also Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, other players like Kevon Looney, and now we have a couple of other young stars that are starting to get into the limelight and are being a huge plus. Some of those players being Brandon Podziemski. I think Podziemski definitely showed his strides and his stripes, earning it in that most recent season with the Golden State Warriors in his rookie year, and he did a fantastic job averaging 9.2 points, 5.8 rebounds, and 3.7 assists. Now, although he isn't putting up MVP type numbers, you definitely felt, what he was capable of doing out there, and he also became a 2023-2024 All-Rookie player. When it comes to that season as well, he had a 3-point percentage of 39%, which was great, and an effective field goal percentage of 53% as well. So he did a fantastic job during that season, especially during a season where he was chucked into the deep end and definitely had moments where he was a starting small forward, shooting guard, and even sometimes had to play power forward at times. And at such a young age of 21 years old, I think he did a fantastic job, especially due to the fact that Brandon Podziemski is or was just a rookie during that season. He definitely showed a lot of maturity, which I thought was fantastic, and I think coming into this next season, he's definitely going to be a big plus and a bigger player for this team. Another player that is also going to be in the limelight is none other than Jonathan Kuminga. Now, we all know Jonathan Kuminga has definitely showed his strides and has definitely been a bit of a talk of the town for this Warriors team. And because of that, at 21 years old, 6'8", 220 pounds, I think now coming into this next season, into his 4th season at that matter, he will definitely show everyone and prove everyone wrong that he is an absolute star. And I think he is capable of doing that. We saw last season him averaging 16.1 points, 2.2 assists, and 4.8 rebounds. But on top of that, what we did see during that season was Jonathan Kuminga complain about his minutes, and now, during that second half of the season, he was able to get a lot more minutes, and he definitely showed out during that time. So I do believe coming into this next season, we could see Jonathan Kuminga take much more of a bigger role, and it should have a big impact on this team.